Hi, this is Angela with Authentic Compass Inc., and I want to talk to you today about fear. I know, probably not a topic you want to talk about, but it's really important. So let's talk about fear, because in my opinion, fear has been given a seriously bum rap. I don't think people completely understand fear. So we're going to talk today about what fear is not, and how you can actually benefit by having fear in your world. Okay? So the first thing, let's start with Merriam-Webster dictionary response, a definition of what is fear. Okay. An unpleasant emotion caused by being aware of danger, feeling afraid. Anxious concern, reason for alarm or danger. Somewhere along the line, people gave fear a seriously bad rap. They started declaring that fear was bad. Now, we all know in the Bible it says, do not be afraid, well over 100 times. Why is that? Because there was a reason they should be afraid. Something was happening that would give really good rise for fear. There's a good reason. So let's talk about that. Some people have determined that fear not only is bad, but living fearless, being fearless, is the key to success. And that conquering fear, being conquerors of fear, is the only way to succeed in life and business. I am here to tell you, in my opinion, that is bunk. It is completely hogwash. Hear me out. Let's continue. I believe that fear is nothing more than a faithful early awareness responder. You have fear built into you as an indicator of saying, stop, pay attention. You need to look at this. You need to pay attention to this. It's like a smoke alarm. It's saying, hey, pay attention. I need your attention here. So I'm here to tell you, we've talked about what fear is. Now let's kind of jump to what fear is not. Fear is an emotional response. Let's go back. Let's go back. Fear is emotional response. And there are some physical responses too. You know what it feels like. Anxious, worried, nervousness, heightened, your heart palpitations, your heart starting to go a little bit faster. Your palms are sweating. You're sweating all over. You feel weak. You feel dizzy. Your breathing starting to have some difficulties with your breathing. You've got a headache. You've got tingling in your fingers and numbness of your hands. Maybe decreased hearing, and time seems to be altered. There's physical response to fear too, other than an emotional response. Fear is real. Let's talk about what fear is not. Fear is not a decision maker. Your smoke alarm going off, your fire alarm system doesn't tell you what to do. It says, hey, pay attention here. Fear is not a decision maker. Fear is not an owner of you. Fear is not responsible for your choices and your decisions. Fear is not responsible for your business and your life success decisions. That is what it is not. Let's talk about how people respond to fear. Because we already know, we've talked about what fear is and what it is not, but let's talk about typical responses to fear, because we all have them. I'm going to talk about two different scenarios. You know, fear wants to get your attention. It'll do anything to get your attention. But how do you deal with fear? We're going to talk about two typical ways that people do deal with fear. The first one, many people deal with fear with avoidance. They want to bury their head They want to avoid it. They want to procrastinate. They just simply don't want to deal with it. So if they decide that they're not going to look at it, they're not going to deal with it, that it is eventually going to go away. So let's talk about what happens when they do that. What really happens when you choose that way to deal with fear? The first thing is sometimes the issue does go away. Poof, gone. Yeehaw, right? Is that always the case? No. Sometimes the issue gets kicked down the road a week, 2, month, 2, only to come back bigger, scarier, and more costly. Only to come back huger than the issue that you chose not to deal with that scared you in the first place. Prime example is a late notice, a late invoice. It's only going to get worse, right? The second way people deal with that is they don't like the feeling, the pressure of that fear. So they want to get rid of it. They want to dump that hot potato just as fast as possible. So the way they do that is they give into the path of least resistance. Okay? I call that giving into the path of least resistance is hitting your personal override button. Because you give in to the loudest, the scariest, or even the most persistent. Just to get rid of that hot potato, just get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it, make it go away. Think for a moment, crying baby. Make it go away. What happens when you do that? What happens when you push the override button of what you probably should be doing and just follow the path of least resistance? Make it go away. You decide that the path of least resistance is better because they must want it more. They need it more than you need it. So therefore, just give it to them. Whatever they want, give it to them. They must be more important than you. Give it to them. Just give it to them, whatever they want. It's too hard because it's too hard to face the discomfort of looking directly at the issue. So you just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. When that happens too, you're also saying that the override is easier, simpler, and faster than simply requesting more information. What is the real issue here? How can I clarify this? Maybe there's another way in which that's better to deal with it for everyone around. I can assure you, neither one of those two scenarios is the best way to deal with fear. I'm going to contend the best way to deal with fear is to make fear one of your trusted advisors sitting at the table, your team of advisors. Remember, fear is not in charge and is not the CEO of you or your business. 2, just because they're an advisor sitting at the table does not mean they get a vote. Fear does not have voting status. They simply are entitled, it simply is entitled to a seat at the table. As CEO of your life, CEO of your business, the buck stops with you. You. Fear is nothing more than an advisor. So how can you make it help you? How can it help you? Fear is a team player. If you look at fear as simply a team player on your advisory team with two specific job descriptions. Two. Alert you to an issue and notify you when something doesn't add up, when something is wrong, when something could potentially cause you to fall into the danger zone. Alert you, notify you. Alert and notify. That's it. So I suggest give fear full permission to do its job. Be thankful that you have fear, someone else looking out for what's going wrong, to be on the lookout for alerts, and to be responsible to notify you. Be thankful that you have that on your team. That's huge. But what do you have to do? You have to be responsive when fear requests an appointment to advise you. When fear sees something, alert and advise. You can't bury your head. You can't push it away, hot potato, give it away. You need to listen. You need to give fear your full attention. It is stop. Stop. Look at this. Give it your full attention. I'm not saying try to solve the issue at the moment. No, no. Just simply give it your full attention so that you can determine what the issue is. And then you, decision maker, you, not fear. Fear's job is done. You decide what you need. You decide what you want. So I contend this. Fear is not false evidence appearing real. It's not fake boogeyman out there. It's not that at all. I contend that that is bunk and wrong. I contend that fear is your faithful, early awareness responder. You need one, you have one. I need one, I have one. You will benefit by making friends with your advisor on your team. I would love, I know this is nothing like you've heard before, but I feel very strongly that this is really the way to proceed as a business owner. I would welcome your questions, welcome your concerns. I welcome if you have a different opinion than I do. Let's hear it. This is Angela Shute with Authentic Compass, Inc. Our discussion starts here on fear. I look forward to hearing from you.